Hey, my name's Izzy, this is Rolling Virtual Cards, coming at you with another Magic Deck video. This time I'm talking about Aragorn, King of Gondor, as we trek our way through the Lord of the Ring decks I've made, trying to make every single commander deck ever made possible. Aragorn, King of Gondor is 1 blue, red, and a white for a 4/4 legendary creature, human noble, with vigilance and lifelink. When Aragorn, King of Gondor, enters the battlefield, you become the monarch. When Aragorn attacks, up to 1 target creature can't block this turn. If you're the monarch, creatures can't block this turn. Oh, okay. When it attacks, up to 1 target creature can't block this turn. If you're the monarch, creatures can't block this turn. So, if it attacks regardless, you're good. But if you're the monarch, creatures can't block. No creatures can block when it attacks. If you're the monarch, creatures can't block. So, point of this deck is quite simple. It's the monarch. You want to have the monarchy because being the monarch not only gives you card advantage, for those who don't know, the monarch, when it becomes in play, as long as you're the monarch at the beginning of your end step, you draw an extra card. You draw a card. Other than that, if you take combat damage from another player, they steal the monarchy. And you can get the monarch back by playing any other card that says the monarch. Aragorn, King of Gondor is really fun because as you play this deck and more cards come out, anytime more monarch cards come out, you can put it in the deck. Very fun concept. Interesting monarch deck because it does make creatures can't be blocked, so you can hit people. And with Vigilance and Lifelink, not only can he protect you for the monarch, to help you keep the monarch, he also gives you accident lifelink, which I love. Let's get into the deck. Reminder, I sort my cards on Moxfield by type, and then within the type by mana. If there's any cards in here you don't like, feel free to remove them. My decks are not canonically necessarily build it this way. But I like how I build stuff. I built this very hasty, it looks like, to be fair. But let's find out. Gingerbrute. Gingerbrute's in here because it can hit people fast and steal the monarch back. That's the point. I like him. Anything that hits fast, I just want to keep the monarch and hit people, and you can't block him, so take your damage. Rabbit Battery's in here. It's got haste. It can give something else haste. I like haste. Looks like this deck was really hasty. I'm not really... Oh, it's hasty because it allows things to get in and hit people while I still have the monarch. Allows Aragorn to hit people right away. The goal is to keep the monarch, get the monarch back, but also to trigger combat stuff. Because if the creatures can't be blocked this turn, then you're going to trigger stuff. Danethor Stoneseer's in here. When it enters the battlefield, scry 2. And then you can pay 3 in a red to tap it, sacrifice Danethor. Target player becomes the monarch. Danethor does 3 damage to any target. This is a really weird commander. Or legendary. But it's in here specifically because it allows me to... yeah, I guess it necessarily just allows me to steal the monarchy back. Which isn't bad. Goro, Disciple of Risur is here because it can give everything haste, allowing me to keep going, hit them fast, be aggressive. And then create a 5/5 Red Dragon Spirit creature token with flying. Activate it only if you control an attacking modified creature. Not bad. I'll take 5/5s on the off chance it's good mana sink. Grinzo Havoc Razor's here because, again, if you can't block, this thing deals damage. You're going to be able to exile the top card of that player's library. Or you can go to creature they control. Normally, I mean, goading a creature is not bad if they have something that you know can hit you like a flyer, then you can help keep the monarch. Otherwise, steal their cards. Caduceus is here because your commander can help you deal damage to other things. Which is great. He's a 4/4. Hit him hard, and if you read it, it says deals combat damage to opponent. It deals that much damage to each other opponent. Since he has lifelink, the 4 damage he deals to this guy can't be blocked. 4 more damage to each of them. You're gaining a total of 16 life. Very strong. 12 life. A Loyal Apprentice gives you a 1/1 flying Thopter with haste every single turn. This is going to help you hit people hard. A Throne Warden at the beginning of your instep. If you're the Monarch, put a 1/1 counter on it. It gets bigger, very slowly, but it does, and it can't be blocked, so you're going to hit someone hard. Archivist of Gondor, if a commander deals combat damage to a player, if there is no Monarch, you become the Monarch. At the beginning of the Monarch's instep, that player draws a card. So you're never going to get when a commander deals combat damage to a player if there is no Monarch. Yeah, you become the Monarch when he hits the field. So that doesn't trigger, but drawing a card, an extra card at the instep, is great. So you draw 2 cards. Captain Legendary Storm, again, hasty, hits people hard, treasure, grabs your treasures, and then whenever you sack a treasure, it gets +1/+0. I almost never see that happen, unless your deck is like focused on treasures, then maybe, but it could be interesting. Faramir, Steward of Gondor, whenever a legendary creature with mana 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, you become the Monarch, so can give you the Monarch pretty well. And then at the beginning of your instep, if you're the Monarch, you create 2 1/1 white human soldier creature tokens, which again, really great, gives you protection from people trying to hit you. Feldon the Third Path can get your creatures back from the graveyard and give them haste. I love Feldon because if someone board wipes, Feldon can come out and allow you to get back into the game usually. But it can also hastefully get stuff out. Captain Lannery can come back out. Something like Grimzo can come back out. Lots of stuff. Glinthorn Buccaneer is in here because I love Glinthorn Buccaneer. Plus, you're in the colors to be able to win with it. And I love winning with Glinthorn Buccaneer. And it has haste. Goblin Chieftain, great. Other goblins you control get +1/+1 and have haste. You're running a lot of goblins in this deck. Very useful. Goblin Rebel Master, other goblins you control attack each combat evil. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you create a 1/1 red goblin creature token with haste. When it attacks, put a 1. It gets +1/+0 to end of turn for each other attacking goblin. So it can get really big. Again, if you're attacking with like 5 goblins, all of a sudden it's 7/2. It can't be blocked. Remember, these things aren't being blocked if you're playing your deck right. And your goblins are coming in, they're swinging, they're hitting. You're swinging wide. I'm going to swing 5 guys at you because you stole the Monarch from me. Here's my 10 creatures. Go ahead and block 1 or 2. Block 3. I don't care. They're going to die. I'm getting my monarchy back. Goblin Warchief. Goblins cost less. Goblins have haste. Goblins are great. They're super fast. They're quick. Anything that gives them haste. I made this goblin a little goblin heavy because there's a good ways to give goblins haste. Layla the Blade Forge, or Layla the Blade Forge is great. It has haste, and it gives you mana advantage, and it gets bigger. And that biggerness is great, because again, unblockable, hit people. Legion War Boss, Mentor, so you're going to get other things bigger. When it attacks creatures, put a 1/1 counter on your creature with less powers. And then at the beginning of combat, your turn, you create a 1/1 goblin creature token. That token has haste and attacks, until the turn, and attacks as combat fable. Again, give me another goblin that can hit and get my Monarch back. Sea Dasher Octopus, this is going to go on a creature, so that creature draws your cards. Usually your commander. But honestly, any creature. Draw cards. Anger. Give my stuff haste. Everwild Captain. Wild Captain. Enters the battlefield, you become the Monarch, and whenever an opponent attacks while you're the Monarch, it deals damage to that player equal to the number of cards in their hand. Very good way to stop people from attacking you if they have too many cards in hand. Hellrider. When a creature you control attacks, Hellrider does 1 damage to the defending player, which is great. If you're swinging like with 5 creatures, 10 creatures, boom, take 5, 10 damage. It also has haste. Odric, Monarch Marshal, great in any deck, any white deck that has your commander has like keyword soup, and it's only got 2 vigilance and lifelink, but giving all your creatures vigilance and lifelink, and this deck is great. It's absolutely amazing. Also, you have so many creatures with haste. Everything's going to have haste, guys. This is a hasty deck. I've said that 1,000 times. I love that. Ogre Battle Driver. When another creature enters the battlefield under your control, that creature gets +2/+0 and gains haste. Haste. And they get bigger, so they get people. Palace Jailer. You become the Monarch. When it enters the battlefield, extra target creature an opponent controls until an opponent becomes the Monarch, which is great. Target something, get rid of something. As long as you keep the Monarch, you're good. Palace Sentinel, you become the Monarch HP, and Solid Miraculum is here for a ramp. Faithless Looting is a card draw. I like Faithless Looting. I don't hate it. I don't love it as much as I used to, but it's still a really good card in decks that you want to be able to draw cards. And this is great, just to be able to draw cards. Vandal Blast is a great board wipe, just because Will is a great card advantage engine. It's expensive, though, so again, you can replace this with whatever other cards you feel It's necessary. Good way to get card advantage and for a big push. A Relentless Assault is here so that you can just get more combat. Round 2 is here for more combat. Because they're unblockable, you can win with Surge to Victory. Surge to Victory combat win con is simple. Exile target instant sorcery card from your graveyard. Creatures you control get +X/+0 to end a turn where X is that card's mana value. Whenever a creature you control does combat damage to a player this turn, copy the exiled card. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. You target Relentless Assault. Untap all creatures that attack this turn. You get an additional combat phase followed by an additional main phase this turn. Okay, so the way Surge to Victory works is you exile Relentless Assault. All your creatures are going to get +4/+0. Because Aragorn cannot makes it so none of your creatures can be blocked. All your creatures, like let's say there's 4 of them even, or just Aragorn. Let's say there's just Aragorn, which is why round 2 works. But all your creatures untap, and you swing again. And then you hit someone. And then Surge to Victory's effect triggers. And then you hit someone. And then Surge to Victory trigger. You just infinitely get... Because it's whenever a creature deals combat damage to a player this turn. So that's infinite combat steps allowing you to just kill everyone. Very simple Surge to Victory, exiling round 2, Relentless. Because as long as you're the Monarch, you can't lose. And if you can hit them one turn, you can Surge to Victory... Or you can, like, Reckless Assault into a Surge to Victory or something to go for a win. But that's what his act is here for a board wipe. But you're in white, so there's other board wipes you can run. But with a heavy creature deck, I don't love running board wipes. And Blasphemous Act is pretty decent. Path to Exile, Swords, Pong, Rapid Hybridization. All great to remove creatures that are in your way. These give them 3/3s. But Aragorn's a 4/4, so I don't care. And Boris Jar protects your creatures. Then you get to the artifacts. This deck is full of artifacts that trigger off combat damage because you can make things unblockable. Or because things are unblockable on your turn. Prying Blade gives you a treasure token when the creature hits them. Soul Ring is ramp. Wayfarer's Bauble is ramp. Arcane ramp. This is also ramp. It creates treasure when your creature deals combat damage to them. Ramp, hastes, and protection. Mask of Memory. When equipped creature deals combat damage to player, you draw 2 cards and discard 1. That's card draw. Sword of the Animist is ramp. Talisman of Conviction is ramp. Talisman, ramp. When equipped creature deals combat damage to player, draw that many cards. Shaman, Warlock, Wizard. You don't have a lot of those, but I don't care if I'm playing 4 to equip it. That's going to be 4 cards I draw. Super good. Strixhaven Stadium is a secondary win con, or I guess a I lose con. Very useful in that regard because things are unblockable. You can start swinging at people, swing at these 2, get the counters, and then just go kill you. Reaver Cleaver is the red version of the Robe of the Archmage, just allowing you to get a lot of treasures equal to the damage you dealt. And that's to whenever this creature does combat damage to player or Planeswalker, which is pretty cool. Biting the Thos is here because you're swinging with a bunch of unblockable creatures. Let's draw a bunch of cards. Combat Research, it draws your cards. Sticky Fingers, great. It makes you treasures. Coastal Piracy draws your cards, and Reconnaissance draws your cards. 34 lands. Again, I don't really care what people do for lands. I click on this Lightning Bolt and select this simple land base, and then tweak it to my desire. To run less into the battlefield tap lands that don't do anything. But yeah, I always run around 33 to 35 lands. But that's the deck. If you want it to be if you want a secondary win con with Glinthorn, you can do that. You're in the colors. Just run Curiosity and Ophiolide so that Glinthorn can get its active. So that Glinthorn can win that way. I didn't put in this deck because it's a little of a cheesy win, and I don't want to deal with that. Plus, it doesn't work in like 3-player games. It only works in 4-player games. So, other than that, the deck is fun. Feel free to take a look at it on here. And modify it however you want. I just wanted a hasty, aggressive deck, and this is a very aggro deck. And I love it. I love the Goblin Thub theme. Your goal here is to get Aragorn down and just start hammering people. Because your guys can't be blocked. Just hammer them away until they all die. No one's left because you killed them all. Love and peace.